go.
What's up, MMA Maniacs? Welcome to another edition of Split Decision, your original weekly MMA podcast brought to you by Sincal Industries. It is Dodge Nick. This is going on
He got
today.
lost.
I got lost.
It's funny because like before the camera turns on, he's really like on it.
On it.
And then
Comes
everything
on,
turns on, and then
just click.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Click. Dodge Nick and Dennis showed up today. We're gonna. What are we talking about today? Lots of
we
stuff,
got
huh? Lots of stuff.
a lot more than the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah,
Very
we always
true.
bring you your weekly news, rumors, preview fights, recap fights.
Yeah.
Talk about everything in the world of mixed martial arts.
We're gonna broach on a rumor today.
Are we? Do you want to start with that before we get to the big story? Because I don't even have a pic.
We don't have a picture
I don't have
for
a
it.
pictogram for that.
And I don't know if I want to do the rumor style or are we just gonna say.
Oh, we can do rumor style. So
No,
basically,
don't say. We're not gonna say the name.
no. Okay, yeah. So we'll go into a story. What was this? December,
I think 15th or
15th
16th.
show, somewhere around that week. Show we talked about how an Irish sports star was being questioned for a possible rape in Ireland.
Right.
We don't know who the Irish sports star is.
And we still don't.
There was no names. There was no allegations. There was just the rumors on the internet were swirling, obviously, of the one Irish sports star we might be talking about on an MMA show.
Right.
But there was no concrete evidence, no anything.
Nobody still has anything.
Nobody still has anything. The only thing that came out today is that Irish sports star was actually taken into custody, turned himself into custody, held for 24 hours for questioning, and released.
And to clear things up for you, you can turn yourself in and still be arrested.
Yeah.
Arrested is a state. It's not an act.
Yeah.
Right.
So we don't know any further than that, but just that's the update on that.
On that.
We can't talk about what's going to happen.
Right. So that's the only rumor part of the show.
That's part of the rumor show.
Everything else we get to today
Should be based
is
on
fact,
fact.
especially the next big thing.
Should be based on fact, right?
Right.
We'll talk about rumors. Anyway, first big story of the week. World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation. The other bare knuckle fighting organization that's out there. The one that has only had one event, not coming up on 4. We'll get to that real quick, but only one event. And that happened in Wyoming back in November. They still have not paid their fighters.
Some people have got some money.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Nowhere near. What
Nowhere
they
near.
requested.
I mean, there's this company was started by Thomas Stankiewicz, who, by the way,
Stankiewicz?
tell me that doesn't say Stankiewicz.
Man. With a name like that, you think you'd be a good guy.
He
Why?
is currently he's currently being held on charges in Illinois for wire fraud, faces up to 5 years in prison.
Patty pants down.
And he's and for $2.1 million worth of fraud. Again, this is his sentencing for that case will be January 22nd. However, in the meantime, while all this shit was going on, he started a bare knuckle fighting promotion called Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation. He announced that Bas Rutten was going to be their president. He assumed the role of president. And it's all gone downhill from here. I mean, Brandon Ward tried to warn fighters in the beginning.
When you say downhill, that's what I remember. I remember people saying...
Oh, from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Before
Even
their first
Baroni.
show.
Even Baroni, I seen a quote. He's like, I told myself not to do it.
Yeah. Sean Merriman was supposed to be on this card, and he was going to be fighting. Now, Sean Merriman is obviously an NFL star, former NFL star. He went on the Jim Rome show saying, I pulled out. There was all kinds of stuff going on.
I pulled out way early on that.
He pulled out way early to make sure the negotiations. Basically, his whole contract was getting renegotiated before the fight.
Yeah, they were trying to.
They were trying to renegotiate,
like, nope.
So he said no. It's going all over the place. Bas Rutten went on Facebook trying to defend his CEO, Tom, trying to defend the organization, said that the whole reason a lot of things were going wrong was because of a former matchmaker by the name of Paul Tyler. Paul Tyler at one point did work for the other bare knuckle fighting federation.
It's always Paul's fault.
Bare knuckle organization. He went to work for Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation, set up some fights, apparently stole fighters, stole contracts, stole all this stuff. According to Bas Rutten's lengthy Facebook post, he was even saying that a lot of the reasons are Paul's fault, that he was a druggie, that he was taking money, he was taking kickbacks, that he was negotiating contracts that would never be able to be paid. all these kinds of things. And then he promised fighters that they will be paid. They will be paid. He posted again December 20th and said, look, give us 4 weeks and you will get your paycheck. I promise. The Mustangs, they're custom, so they have to be certified by somebody to be on the road because they got rims and seats. Like, I don't know the fuck that was about. But
new rims and paint.
Yeah, new rims and paint, which apparently you have to send to the DMV to make sure that they're okay. I've never heard of that before, ever. Well, 4 weeks was 2 days ago.
Right.
Still no one's been paid.
Like I told you, it's 4 business weeks.
Oh, 4 business weeks. So rumors are now saying that it's
2 months.
Possible that Boss Rutan was trying to say, well, maybe after Tom's little other legal issue gets resolved, which is on the 22nd, and that's when we'll get paid. There are a lot of fighters that haven't got paid. There's hotels. The hotel that hosted all of the fighters is still being owed $70,000.
How do you keep going being 70 grand short?
They didn't even have that many fighters on the card.
Yeah, well, this is apparently they hosted everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, and they probably did the weigh-ins there.
They had there's another hotel that's still owed $3 grand. There's
that's for the after party, right?
For the after party. There's radio stations that were getting paid to help advertise. They haven't been paid yet. This thing is going pretty deep. If you go over to mymmanews.com, you can check out the full article. Eric, our good friend, wrote up a really big article. He's been interviewing lots of people. Burt Watson, if you remember Burt Watson, let's roll! Let's get rolling! And that, the guy that was getting all the fighters to the cage. He was in charge of making sure the fighters make it to the ring and making sure they're on weight and where they're supposed to be.
It was the first MMA fighter wrangler, right?
Yeah, pretty much. The babysitter to the stars, Burt Watson. You might have seen him from the UFC a long time ago. He came forward now. He did an interview with My MMA News, again, saying he hasn't been paid. I was on Twitter discussing things with Phil Baroni. We're still working out, trying to see if we can get an actual interview from him. But when I flat out asked him, have you been paid, he said no.
Yeah.
He got a check. Someone had posted that check. That check has bounced. He has not been paid. I reached out to Chris Lieben. Chris Lieben has not responded yet. A couple other fighters I reached out to. I'm waiting to see if anybody can actually confirm they've been paid, even if it's a little bit. But this thing is absolutely crazy. The Athletic Commission in Wyoming is now looking to change the rules about starting a promotion in Wyoming and starting and even holding an event, that you have to carry a certain amount of insurance so that if you do dip, they can get everybody paid.
No, they got to do like what PFL did, where they said up front, we have $27 million allocated. So when they tell you that they're going to give $7 million away, okay, well, at least they have that money. You know they have the means.
Well, again, this is what the Athletic Commission is trying to do. They're trying to change the legislation to make sure that they have to enforce
almost like a bond.
They
have to get bonded.
They get bonded.
They do get bonded, but for a small amount in Wyoming. Now they're trying to expand it so that this doesn't happen again.
We're gonna later we're gonna talk too. In other states, it's what you say it was. It's almost like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, the Wild West.
There's no commission hold on stuff like this.
Yeah, they said current bonding only covers $10,000.
I mean, there's fighters who got injured on this card who need surgeries and
still have not had that taken care of. Absolutely insane. Again, you can follow the breadcrumbs on Twitter. There's a lot of accounts talking about this. There's a lot of people asking the fighters. Some fighters are coming forward and mentioning little things. Again, Baroni was one of them, saying, haven't been paid. He's kind of following everything, kind of waiting for everything to go on. But man,
I think people aren't saying much at first because they want to get paid, but as it looks like they're not going to get paid.
Yeah, that's the thing.
More and more people are talking.
The thing that kind of upsets me and a lot of people, I mean, I know Eric's a little upset. I know Baroni's upset about this. He talked to me privately in a message about that nobody's talking about this.
Well, we had one smaller group said that, well, we've been doing
a couple small Twitter accounts or even, a couple guys I know. I think he's a friend of Baroni's or at least a promoter or something along those lines. Maybe he's a sponsor. He says, I've been saying this since it happened.
And we're going to give you your
credit where credit
is due. But what
we're
talking
about is major MMA media is not covering this. MMA Fighting interviewed and covered the fight live. They did a results thing. I know Karen Bryant interviewed Boss Rutan about this, talking about bare knuckle boxing,
but not about people not getting paid.
But nobody has picked it back up. Bloody Elbow's not picking it back up. I just don't understand why a lot of the big Sherdog's not picking this up.
Bloody Elbow's got their own issues, right?
Sherdog's not picking this up. You know what I mean? There are big MMA names for news out there, and nobody other than My MMA News is putting this forward. I know that the police are now involved. They're investigating the whole case because all these people haven't been paid.
Like $70,000. That's a felony, right?
Oh, it's a felony, yeah. So I think at some point this will probably come down to class action? I mean, if this guy goes to jail, nobody's ever going to get the money, right? Can they sue him still?
Right, and they can get him again. If he promised anybody over email that they were going to get paid and they didn't get paid, that again is wire fraud, right?
And the thing that bothers me the most is I had a lot of respect for Boss Rutan. And I feel like he is a very well-respected member of the MMA community. Oh, we have a glove signed by him back here. I mean, I met him in Vegas probably 8 years ago. He was a great guy, and he seems like he's a good ambassador for the sport. But what is happening where did he get roped? Is he going to come out and say, I got roped into this too, and I believed everything he said? I was looking for the best in somebody, and I got
Well, of course,
duped.
I
got duped because right now he's still defending Tom and still defending World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation, which to me is kind of sad, man. Like, I don't want to see one of the guys that I grew up watching and respected go down this path and now does everything. I mean, there's people on Boss Rutan's Facebook page talking shit about his karate combat league, saying, "Are you going to pay those fighters?"
Oh yeah,
because you're getting looped into this. You're supposed to be the president of that company. You can't just keep saying checks in the mail. Just trust us. Checks in the mail. Tom's not going to do that to you. I mean, at some point, you got to cut your losses, man.
Right.
Somebody needs an actual explanation for this instead of checks in the mail. Paul Tyler screwed up contracts. I don't know what else to say.
I mean, I think he's being fed the information.
That's what I think too. So there's been allegations, and people alluding to the fact that Boss Rutan is still defending this because he got paid. Because he got paid off to say whatever he's supposed to say.
And if that's the case, that's
you can
horrible.
go online, and follow some things. But yeah, and that's one of the things where I'm like, man, I really hope that's not true.
Right.
I really hope that that's not true.
Right.
I hope that he is just duped himself and just trying to keep positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll move on from that story. But yeah, you can follow it over at mymmanews.com. Also check out Eric on Twitter, mymmanews. And you can, again, follow the breadcrumbs. You can kind of see a lot of the stories that are happening. A lot of accounts still talking about this sad event. If you do like bare knuckle boxing, you can watch a real promotion, Bare Knuckle Boxing Fighting Championship. They are on their 4th event. They're holding this big one. This is going to be USA versus Mexico. And you got Beck Rawlings defending her belt up against Cecilia Udala Flores. Joe Riggs.
Is she fighting on USA's team?
Technically. I think she's a side bout. You got USA versus Mexico and then a side bout. Also featuring.
Okay.
Yeah, so. But yeah, you got Joe Riggs, Chris Lytle, Tony Lopez, Julian Lane, Leonard Garcia, Joey Beltran, all in this card. This should be
in Cancun?
Awesome. Yeah.
Man.
That should be a fun fight, man. So make sure you check that out. And I know it's
according to you, that's the spring break card.
That is a spring break card. Always, man. Especially if it's in Cancun.
February.
Is Cancun sea level?
Gotta make sure nobody gets tired, right?
Yes, there's literally the sea is level.
Except for when there's waves.
Speaking about people going to jail, we can talk about fighters.
Why are we going to bring that up?
Sergio Da Silva. Sergio Da Silva. He was last known for doing that kind of a one foot on, 1 foot off thing on the scale.
One? Thought if he only weighed one
on Bellator.
If he stood on 1 foot, he'd only weigh half as much.
He's like, they actually brought that up in his court case. They're like, see, he's a known liar. He's always trying to lie to the system here.
He's trying to.
It's a sad result. I mean, you got to pay these fighters. This is what happens.
This is what happens. He was charged in 2017 with a bank robbery in New York. However, he was not been convicted of. There is surveillance footage of him, which he still was using the shaggy defense. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. We have video of you. Wasn't me.
Yeah, even if you have a silhouette, that head, you know who it was.
However, he's not been convicted of first-degree robbery because they could not tell if he had a gun on the footage. He is being convicted of third-degree robbery. He faces 7 years in prison.
He couldn't even afford a gun?
Well, they don't know.
They don't know.
He
had his fingers in his shirt.
Everyone said he threatened them with a gun, but they never actually visually saw the gun. So that's why he's getting third-degree and not first-degree robbery.
Pro tip out there.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen Raising Arizona.
Best part about this is again, not only did he threaten to shoot people, he was on camera and they found his fingerprints all over the scene. It wasn't me.
I don't even know how they planted my fingerprints.
I have no idea how that happened.
You guys ever watch Minority Report? I'm just saying.
That's how it happens.
That's how it happened.
Moving on from there.
I did think about it.
Frank Mir getting a little payday. It's going to be pro wrestling for the first time.
Is he going to be the Meerkat?
He's just Frank Mir.
Frank Meerkat?
He's going to be taking part of Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. You can check that out Thursday, April 4th. out of New Jersey.
His finishing movies all. That's the Meerkats.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
That's the Meerkat. All right. Anyway, check out Josh Barnett Bloodsport. Again, it's GCW Wrestling. You can check that out. Again, April 4th. Good for Frank Mir. Are you excited to see Frank Mir pro wrestle?
He's been busy. He was doing a lot of
Come
commentating.
to a local high school gymnasium near you.
Oh, come on.
There's a bunch of people doing wrestling now.
Yeah.
It says White Eagle Hall. You think that's any better than a high school gymnasium?
Eagle Hall?
Yeah, like the California Ballroom, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd watch wrestling there.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, there you go.
The midget wrestling used to come through.
Little person wrestling?
No, it was called midget. I don't know what they call it now.
I don't know what they call it now.
When we went
But
to
back
it,
then,
it was
that's what
midget
it was.
wrestling. Literally said it on the
I
ticket.
got the ticket stub.
Yeah.
Jennifer Maya accepting her sanction from her violation of USADA. She tested positive for, holy crap, that is a lot of stuff. Furosemide, hydrochlorothiazide, thiazide metabolite 4, amino 6, chloro 1, and 3 benzoamphetamine ABCs, what apparently is an out-of-competition test, which basically is in the diuretics masking agent clause there from her sample. So there you go. Remember, we're never going to find out anymore when these people actually test positive. We're only going to find out when they accept sanctions, unless you're John Jones, and we'll find out every time you test clean.
Did you purposely
Maybe.
Photoshop Celine Dion over her face?
No, that's what she looks like. That's taken directly from the UFC website,
It
sir.
looks like Celine Dion.
6 months. She got 6 months.
For all that? 6 months?
All that.
For first offense?
For a first offense diuretic. Or masking agent. Moving on from there, Holly Holm, doing a little extracurricular. She is now in a Mountain Dew commercial. With the new
She's the ma'am in the mirror.
It's the "Let's Do" is the slogan for this thing.
That's what I thought. I thought it was I had said let's do it, but
Yeah,
it's let's
let's
do.
do.
Shouldn't it be let's DEW?
It should be,
Yeah.
but it's "Let's Do."
Let's
also
do.
features
Or DEUX, right?
Joel
Let's do.
Embiid from the 76ers. What is it? Migos, the rap group. They're in
Migos.
This. Migos, that's what it is. Migos. They're also
Gotta
in
stay
it.
hit, man.
gotta stay on top.
No, I don't.
Anyway, you
Nope.
can check this out. You go on YouTube. Basically, she says she looks at the mirror, she gets all ready, and then at the end, she looks at her own reflection. She walks away from the reflection, as you can see. She's gonna walk that way. The reflection stays there. She's letting that part of her go. I don't know.
Hey,
I don't quite
Pete
get it.
Dupuy said it's still midget wrestling. You don't care.
Thanks, Pete. So yeah, I mean, what do you think about MMA stars? Branching out now into what I would consider mainstream commercials and mainstream pop culture and those sort of things. It's no longer this fringe sport. I mean, we've talked about it. Obviously, we have a show that has almost
Right.
500 episodes.
Well,
We've obviously been
they
interested
already
in it,
had-
but now we're getting put into the
they've
forefront.
already before they done T-Mobile.
Yeah. But this
Demetrius Johnson did Xbox.
But this
right?
is the first one, in my opinion, that's outside of the UFC. UFC isn't sponsored by Mountain Dew,
Dew,
are they?
no.
So to me, T-Mobile was the brand for UFC for a little while. Then it was Metro, and you saw the UFC fighters
Same
in
thing
the
with
Metro
the Toyo
commercials.
tires.
So to me, this is like one of the first ones outside of somebody that's already a sponsor.
McGregor did Burger King.
Very true. Very true. So did Anderson Silva before him, but yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen any Popeyes chicken commercials from
Derek Lewis?
Derek
Maybe
Lewis?
it's only in that one town
In that
where
one
he
town.
lives, right? But I mean, what do you think? Do we see more of these over time?
Oh yeah.
I hope so.
Especially with ESPN involved.
Yeah, especially with ESPN involved. It's
Because
very big.
I bet you in some way, shape, or form, Mountain Dew is a sponsor of
somewhere.
ESPN.
We'll get,
Because
yeah.
I'm just thinking that with the snowboarding and the X Games and all that, I think they have to be intertwined.
Because of ESPN.
Yeah. That's just my theory.
Because are you saying that all snowboarders drink Mountain Dew?
They all smoke weed.
With Mountain Dew. Also announced.
Never had that strain, man.
What?
Also announced yesterday.
Don't lie.
Mortal Kombat 11 will be coming out very, very soon.
April 23rd.
There you go.
Not that I know.
Got to
but
talk to a gamer. And it has been announced that Ronda Rousey will be the voice of Sonya Blade. Longtime Mortal Kombat character since Mortal Kombat 1, right?
Yeah.
First time MMA star has been in a non-MMA game? Maybe.
I don't know. I had to do some research.
You have to do some research on that, huh?
Yeah. We might have like the Michael Jordan that was in the.
Well, no, you take that back because I think didn't somebody do some voices for Call of Duty? I know Bisbee did voices for Call of Duty. I think Connor did too.
Oh,
point, right?
Yeah, they had that the commercial I think with Connor.
The commercial. Anyway, I still think that they should have done this with Ronda Rousey. She did not do the you think may have done the mocap. We haven't found any details on that yet.
No, she just confirmed that she did the voice.
Did the voicing, yeah. She knows she does the voicing, so she doesn't. The character does not look like her, but if
some of the moves though are the moves she uses in WWE.
Just saying they could have made her look like that. Would have been a better idea.
I like the finishing move where she throws the dude in the helicopter.
It throws the guy in the helicopter, shoots him up into the helicopter. Still does the kiss thing. So very, very cool.
The gameplay looked really cool in the game.
Gameplay looked really, really awesome. So good for Ronda Rousey, man. Good for Ronda Rousey.
As far as gameplay anymore, I mean, there's probably just a setup and you just put characters in from now on, right? I mean,
no, this one they're rebuilding.
But, okay.
UFC.
I trust you.
We had talked about.
I'll never know.
We had talked about for the New Year's Eve show that they were going to release a new belt. They decided to hold off on that and do it as a big reveal for the ESPN show, which will be going down this weekend. We'll get to that card in a little bit. But here is the new belt. I don't know.
How much
This is now called the Legacy belt. The original belt is going to be called the UFC Classic belt. So all the belts from here on out will be this belt. It has some interesting features. Obviously, it is a giant octagon. It has this weird band over the front of it. It has flags put into it from the original 8. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think the first 8 countries that hosted UFC.
Champions.
Oh,
First 8.
I'm confused. I don't know.
Countries who've had a champion.
They talked about this 4 or 5 times before the show started.
First 8 countries that have had a champion.
Wait till we get to the jewel section.
Yeah, this is where the jewel section. Yeah, and then then they got the octagon on the side where it's gonna have its own nameplate where you're gonna have your name and your weight class, and then it's got how many we got? 8 around the sides, right? We got 8 diamonds. For every defense, the diamond changes to a ruby or a red diamond.
Yeah.
And then once it's full, they move over to the other side and they start adding more. I don't think anybody's ever going to get to that side. It's just my opinion. Yeah, let's get some close-ups there.
You know, honestly, what I really wish they would do was put like a ESPN Plus champion, a freaking Fox Sports 1 champion.
I talked about this. This is the ESPN Plus belt. It has to be defended every time there's an ESPN Plus event, right?
That would make sense. Then I would
TV
know.
Champions back in the day.
Well, we had talked about that too, right? If we had to have
gotta have the Fight Pass.
Certain
champion.
fighters would only be on certain things, right?
Yeah. Kind of like the brand. I don't know. What is your first opinion of this belt?
I don't like it.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I think a lot of people online are complaining about the belt.
But I'm horrible with change,
Mind you,
too.
I saw the UFC jump back at somebody. They clapped back at somebody on Twitter and was like, well, it doesn't matter because you're never going to wear it.
Yeah.
Mind you, it was a fan. It wasn't an actual fighter that they said this to.
Right, because we can't get replicas.
Yeah, we can't get replicas anymore. Right?
They don't care about marketing. We don't want your money.
Here it is, super up close.
It's not about you.
You got the 1993 for the first year the UFC was in.
That will get you a free 1 month Fight Pass if you enter that code. I don't know.
Everybody's gonna try now.
Everybody's gonna try to put it in there. I don't know, man.
The views expressed by Nick are the views expressed by MMA Pixels.
Can the fighters like opt out and be like, "Yo, can you just give me the old belt?"
I don't know, bro.
They made all this detail and stuff. Like, we're gonna see it from how far away?
Yeah.
Like, are you really gonna be able to tell that's a red jewel? And they're gonna get a new one each time they win, right? They don't wear it out to the octagon, so you're gonna see it for 5 minutes at most.
And not only that, but do they have a belt that doesn't have it on the side and then a belt that does? So when they get the defense, they're like, all right, get the one that has the new diamond. Here you go. Oh, you didn't win. Take it back. Here's a fresh belt for the new champ.
We're gonna have what is that? The UFC 5 belt. We're gonna have those laying around.
And then when you fill out all the stones, you get matching dishes.
I don't know. A lot of people are calling this the Power Rangers coin belt.
It's the Infinity Belt.
It's the Infinity Belt. When you get all the stones, they light up. You wipe out a division.
What stone do you get for if you don't pass the drug test? Or what stone do you get?
Yellow. They'll add a yellow stone to it. Speaking of belts, a little bit of beef between a champion and a contender here. We got Amanda Nunes went on Twitter. Obviously, we had Christine Justino Cyborg has been asking for a rematch. She's very upset that she's not getting a rematch. She said, I was a dominant fighter. I had the belt. I should get an immediate rematch. There's all these other champions that got immediate rematches. Amanda Nunes said, "Sorry, Christine, I'm done with 145. My goal was to be a double champ, but now I can help you build the division. I got someone for you." Judah Kayla is a true 145er. Megan Anderson immediately stepped in and said, "Stripper, I'll fight Chris for the vacant 145-pound title if Amanda won't give her the rematch she deserves."
That's sexual harassment. You can't say that.
Can't say stripper. And then she posted a picture of herself saying, "I am a true featherweight." And she says, "While I'm at it, Chris Cyborg hadn't been beaten in 13 years. She was on a 20-fight win streak. If anyone deserves an immediate rematch, it is her." Amanda Nunes immediately said, "We all know that this division does not exist." She said, and then Megan Anderson's response to that was, "Well, you stated you wanted to help build a division, and your response to this is, Chris, now it doesn't exist. Which one is it?" She says, "Where is your division? I mean, I built the division, and maybe another promotion. I'll help with that." And she posted pictures of the UFC website, which does not have the 145-pound division, which we have talked about at length every single time we have to bring up the division. She says, basically, so then Megan Anderson says, "So you aren't actually a champ if the division doesn't exist."
Right.
Just because of a website. She says, "Well, call it what you want. No one will ever forget that I beat the most dominant champion ever."
You can't say, "Well, you're not the champ." Well, you're not a champ at all.
Yeah, Chris needs to be a champion. There needs to be a division for it to exist. She goes, "Look, there was a division just for Christine, and it was entertained by talented 135-pounders. They didn't even believe in any 145-pounders." And she goes, "Well, instead of being a champion in 2 divisions, you're deciding to vacate the belt so people who actually want to fight for it can, since you don't believe in it anyway."
Right.
Where do you think this goes?
I don't know. I put in there, I was like, Amanda, you don't want to catch those toes. That's what I put. I don't know why that wasn't highlighted. Because you don't want that, Amanda. You don't want to catch a toe.
I mean, she doesn't have to rematch her. She was a dominant champion, but she just got knocked out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she should have another fight. If
she got knocked out faster than another dominant
What do you
champion.
feel about the 145-pound women's division? We talked about this, I think, the last time.
I think it's in good hands if Amanda doesn't want to defend it, but she's the dual champion, so you don't have to have the 145-pound title each time defense. Right. You could have it, once you get somebody, you could have a featured fight.
And we've proved time and time again, there's no 145 because nobody's trying to make a 145.
Yeah.
We know the fighters are out there. We know other fight promotions have a 145 with quite a few people in it.
Yep.
The UFC is not trying to have a 145, just like they're not trying to have a 125 for men.
So she's saying, again, that they are closing the 145. Basically, Amanda Nunes is saying, "I don't want to fight at 145 pound again." Is this going to be another situation where I got the belt, I'm done, I close the division, let it go?
She'll be the second person at 145 to do that now, right?
And the UFC says, she would be, yes. And the UFC says, "You know what? We don't want to open the division back up. She is the final 145-pound champ."
Yeah.
I think that's totally available to the UFC. Do I think it's right? I mean, there's not a lot of talent in the 145-pound division. I do believe in Amanda Nunes saying it. There was a lot of 135ers who would go up just to make a... You're given an opportunity to fight Cyborg for a belt. Why not? I'll take the 145. I'll take the 145 money, even though I know I can always go back to 135 and start competing again.
Right, but again, we've all stated now the UFC is a straight player now saying, we don't have to be just, we don't have to be right. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
If you want something like that, there's other promotions
else.
Yeah, right.
I think Amanda becomes the 125 champ.
You think so?
That's what she had talked about.
Yeah, she said she wants to go down from 135 to 125 and be that champion as well.
That's the race now, the arms race.
Yeah, but let's see.
Who will be the first triple champion?
Let's see what
Triple
happens.
crown.
Let's see what happens to her trying to make that weight cut to 125.
Yeah.
See her kidney shut down. Right? How many fighters have we had body shut down trying to make these crazy weights?
Trying to make these weights.
And they weren't even trying to be champions, They were just trying to make weight.
ESPN era is upon us. We do have UFC Brooklyn, UFC on ESPN.
Will we be entertained?
We got some interesting stuff happening. Did I have the picture? Oh, the picture's gone. Dang it. Let's start with...
We got hacked.
I got hacked. So let's start with TJ Dillashaw. How do you think he looked at the weigh-ins? Like Skeletor?
He
looked like Connor trying to make 145?
Yeah.
But he looked all right.
Did you see the crazy math that somebody put up? Where he was talking about, well, if I do this and I do that and we got this, I was confused. I felt like
science.
I felt like it was that
bro.
scene from Hangover where you got all the numbers going and you just got the guy like, I'm gonna make weight, and it was just like all these numbers flying.
He's on the roof.
Yeah.
And that was just the UFC title I was trying to understand.
The Joule system.
Yeah, the Joule system. Number one. Number two, Henry Cejudo coming out with the snake at the weigh-ins.
Yeah, try hard.
Try hard. Do you think that bringing up a 3-year-old joke that Conor McGregor started against TJ Dillashaw has been perpetuated by
I think it was good when we're
Team
using
Alpha Male?
when they
It's
used
still a joke that we need to bring up and continue to push forward. He pulled out a snake out of a bag and then like started beating it. Mind you, it was a fake snake. Started beating the snake on the ground and then threw it aside before their stare down. It was a little ridiculous in my opinion.
I mean, he wore the gold Bruce Buffer jacket out there.
Yeah.
bronze.
Yeah.
The bronze Bruce Buffer.
He's bronze. He's third place.
No, he was
He's
wearing
gold.
his gold medal out there as well. He likes to remind everybody, I won the gold medal.
Did you catch? TJ said that he thought he had lost it. Do you guys know about that? I never heard anything about that either.
Oh.
So
Guess
speaking
gotta
of
check the facts.
ESPN, the fight's happening on ESPN.
As far as the snake thing, I don't think it's irrelevant because Dillashaw had almost embraced it.
At one point, yeah, he had that shirt, the Viper shirt with the snake skin, right?
Right. So, I mean,
that was the other rumor. We talked to him about that. He didn't really like it, but everyone still calls him. He's the Viper. Right. That was his nickname, the Viper.
I mean, he stole the bit.
Yeah.
Earthquake smashed Jake the Snake's long time
I
ago.
like that. After all that, did you see the thing from Jake the Snake?
Yeah,
He was like,
we need to have a conversation.
We need to have a conversation.
Speaking again of ESPN and the UFC coming together, this got put out there. It's going to cost you approximately $2,000
This is what we talked about
this year to watch the UFC.
No, it is not.
It's $959.
That's how much the fighters get paid.
$959.64
or don't get paid.
for ESPN Plus, Fight Pass, and pay-per-views, and they say it's an estimated $90 a month for a cable package that comes out to $2,039 to watch just the UFC this year.
On this information alone, my brothers, I think it is fine for you to use that thing that plugs into your HDMI and you use it over your Wi-Fi and you get it for free. I know I've been a big proponent for paying for everything, but after all this math has been put in front of me, do it.
ESPN is going full force into the UFC. They're unveiling a whole bunch of new shows and new programming. Obviously, we have Ariel Helwani's MMA show. We have Ariel and the Bad Guy with Chael Sonnen. They just announced they're also going to be doing a new segment on SportsCenter called Inside the Cage, where they're basically going to be covering everything UFC. Bisbing, Karen Bryant, and Rashad Evans, Megan Olivey have all been over and hired by ESPN as analysts and reporters now. They're going to start another show called Destined. That's going to be a 24/7 and or countdown style show. Mm-hmm. They're starting another one called Unlocking Victory. That's going to be with Dominic Cruz and Gilbert Melendez, where it'll be almost like an X's and O's shows where they show how guys kind of break down the fights, I guess. I don't know exactly.
They're throwing a bunch of shit on the wall.
Yeah, see what happens.
One of them's going to be a hit.
One of them's going to be a hit,
What time's the playoff game start Saturday? I'm just trying to figure out how much of this won't be watched.
Yeah, they're going to be throwing a bunch of shows on ESPN News, that channel. They're going to be a bunch of old fight nights and stuff like that. The prelims themselves are going to be on the early prelims that used to be on Fight Pass are now going to be on ESPN Plus. You can then switch over to ESPN. All the shows that were on Fox Sports 1 will be on ESPN.
So no more prelims on Fight Pass?
No more prelims on Fight Pass for an ESPN Plus card.
Okay.
Yeah. The prelims are going to be on ESPN Plus, and then the prelims are going to be on ESPN, and then the main card will go back to ESPN Plus.
Anybody who knows how to hack Fight Pass, get at me. I'm serious. I'm tired of trying to do it the right way. They're totally hosing us.
Yeah, so it is all over the board, but again, ESPN is dumping big into UFC, and you're going to try to make this thing work. I mean, they just spent $5 million for a 5-year deal.
Viewership's going to go down.
You think so?
At first,
of the
yeah.
UFC?
Yeah.
Just because I don't know where to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Or you got to buy something else to watch it.
Yeah, that's the big one. Like, I have Fight Pass right now, and I'm probably going to cancel that and then pick up ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
And the only reason
Do you have DAZN?
No, I don't have that one.
So yeah, and then I believe the regular pay-per-views we'll be able to see that soon, hopefully. Regular pay-per-views will still be partially on Fight Pass.
See, you don't even know.
I don't know. Let's see if I can find it.
If you don't know, me and him are lost.
Let's see if we can track
We
it
might as
down
well
here.
be in the birdcage or bird box. or whatever it is. What is it where you wear the? Is it
I don't know.
It's bird
Yeah,
box.
so there you go. So UFC 234, which is going down in February. That's the first pay-per-view that we're going to hit. The prelims, early prelims will be on Fight Pass. The prelim card will be on...
Fucking A, you're with me, Jeff. Jeff
ESPN.
Stanley. You need to be here, Jeff Stanley. You're supposed to be here.
On
Win.
pay-per-view. So,
I missed it where Dodge tells it. Where's it going to be? I was talking
exactly what I said.
I was talking to Jeff Stanley.
ESPN Fight Pass for early prelims, ESPN for regular prelims, main card on pay-per-view. That's for pay-per-view cards. If you're watching it on ESPN Plus, like this first card is going to be ESPN Plus, then over to ESPN, then back to ESPN Plus. Bring the whole thing around.
Oh, yeah.
Pay $9.99. Go to MyMMAnews.com. You can get a month free.
No, 7 days.
A week free. You can watch this card.
Because he said don't start
for
until
free.
Wednesday. Because you might miss.
Yeah. Start it today. Pay for it today. Get your free week. Watch the card. Cancel it.
There you go. No. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
continue to pay.
No, cancel it. Then hack it.
Should we talk about the card finally?
Oh, there's a fight going on?
There's actual fights,
There's fights
going on.
Okay.
What have we been talking about?
What have we been talking about? I don't even know. So starting on ESPN Plus, the prelims.
Pre.
You got Chance Recontere going up against Kyle Stewart.
Yeah.
Bilal Muhammad going up against Jeff Neal.
Kyle's
and
a late replacement.
Dennis Bermudez going
He
up
gave
against
up
T.
NASCAR, huh?
Edwards.
T. Edwards. He's a prospect. I think he's from the Bay. He's from Northern California.
So do you got a good old
Well, Bermudez is from around here,
Lemon-
too, right?
lemon-
He's from
Bermudez?
Sacramento.
Yeah.
Bermudez.
take
Bermudez,
it
yeah.
All right. Then moving on to ESPN, the first main thing of this ESPN deal. So you can watch these on ESPN, regular ass ESPN.
These ones are, I can't say free either because you got to.
You got to have a cable package or Hulu or Slingbox or whatever it is you're paying for.
Something.
Mario Batista going against Corey Sandhagen. Alonzo Minefield going against Vinicus Moreira. Joanne Calderwood going up against Ariane Lipski. And Donald Cerrone going up against Alexander Hernandez. They got into some beef over the weigh-ins, didn't they?
Yeah.
I know Alex Hernandez was calling out Mr. Cowboy, saying, first of all, it's going to be a violent end. That it's going to be a violent torch passing to him. He said that he's not out here basically with his mistresses and day drinking and all this shit that Donald Cerrone does, allegedly.
Day drinking Donald.
Yeah, and we don't know what Donald's going to show
Donald
up.
Cerrone looked ice cold, man. Like,
he looked
this guy.
irritated, but I think a lot of that's the weight cut,
You just keep talking, and I'm just going to do my thing in the octagon.
Because they're going back down to he's going back down to 155.
155, yeah. And then ESPN Plus. Go to My MMA News right now and sign up for your free 7 days on ESPN Plus, or if you just feel like you like watching 30 for 30, buy ESPN Plus for $9.95 or $9.99 a month, and you can check out the first ESPN Plus card. And it is Glover Teixeira going against Carl Robertson.
Taking Robertson.
Yeah.
Paige Van Zandt going against Rachel Ostovich.
Taking Ostovich.
Page.
Joseph Benavidez going up against Dustin Ortiz.
Oh, I got to take Benavidez, but I think Ortiz is going to do it.
Silence to my right.
I don't know.
Gregory Gillespie going up against Yancy Medeiros.
Yancey.
I like Yancey because he was referenced in a football commercial on an elevator at one time.
Your co-main event, which has caused a lot of controversy because it's definitely over Rachel Ostovich and Paige Van Zandt.
I'm sorry that Brandon brought that up.
And B,
let's beat a dead horse.
Because the guy is 3-0, should not be the co-main event. Greg Hardy.
What, should he be out there robbing banks?
No, I think he should be on ESPN Plus prelim card.
Well, he is on the ESPN Plus card.
Plus prelim card.
Yeah.
He should be on the prelims. I think he should be on the prelims. I don't think, regardless of what he did in his extracurricular activities outside of fighting, I don't think he is the caliber of fighter that should be a co-main event for an opening card on ESPN. Personal opinion.
But his
name,
but his fights and his finishes have been pretty brutal.
Against who?
Hey, I'm not going to talk about cans.
Yeah, against everyone he's been in there with.
Those can-horrific people. Greg Hardy going against Alan Crowder for your co-main event at heavyweight. And, of course, Henry Cejudo defending the flyweight division, the flyweight belt.
How come they don't have a C by his name? He's a champion.
And the snake jokes for around the world
yeah.
against TJ Dillashaw, who looked like death today on the scales.
I think it would have been a better joke if he had if he had like one of those flutes, and then as Dillashaw was walking out, he tried to tame him.
Yeah, that would have been good. You know what's super funny? Is I was going to put together my own picture of them together, and I was like, I don't want to spend that much time in Photoshop. He was going to be Snake Charmer.
Or we just need to make a basket where if he wins, that's what I'm going to make.
Pops up.
That's what I'm going to make. If Henry wins, I'm going to make a basket and Henry playing the flute, and then like Dillashaw come out with black eyes.
Who do you got in this fight?
Dillashaw.
Cejudo.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to give him the ability to strike. I think he's just going to go and stick to him.
I think
Joseph
Dillashaw's
Benavidez says he has to
better.
question his friendship.
You think Dillashaw's wrestling's better?
For MMA, I believe so.
For MMA.
I think so.
Wrestling's wrestling.
Joseph Benavidez says that he may have to question his friendship with Dillashaw for wanting to shut down the 125 division.
You know,
Don't care.
No, I don't care because it's not. He's not literally shutting. It's not his decision.
Yeah.
He's like, Dana wants to do something, so, and I want to be a double champ. I like money.
He wants to be a triple champ.
I like
too.
money.
He says after he beats Cejudo, he's going to go up and fight Max Holloway.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are all great stories, and if any of it comes to fruition, well, it's an even better story.
It's an even better story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Cejudo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Dillashaw's wrestling's better?
For MMA, I understand what he's saying. I think his footwork is extremely well. Is something that is not. I don't know. I mean, seeing the fight with Cejudo though against Demetrius Johnson to me was very, very shocking, kind of telltale. So we will see. That's why I think I'm going to take Cejudo. If he was able to do that to DJ, even though I still think DJ should have got the nod, the fact that he didn't, and watching that fight and seeing what the judges watched,
Right.
I think that Cejudo can win this fight.
Right.
The same
Do you
one.
think there's a finish though, or do we go to?
You going Dillashaw TKO?
I think as far as for the flyweight division, there has to be a finish. It can't be a 5-round decision.
But what if it is?
Do they shut it
Good.
down if
See
TJ
ya.
wins?
Huh?
Do they shut it down if TJ wins?
I believe so.
Do they shut it down if Cejudo wins?
I think so.
Depends.
Depends?
Depends on how he wins.
Well, they've already released a lot of fighters in that division,
Cejudo
right?
is saying he's already he's put forth that he's flat out asked Dana, if I win this, I want to make sure that the flyweight division stands here. There are at least 3 fighters I can name right now that deserve a title shot against me, and I have no problem defending it against them. And Dana said, we'll see.
We'll see.
Right.
So,
To his face, at the press conference, Dana, please tell me if I win this fight, we keep the division, and we'll see.
we'll make a deal
and
right
that's,
now.
And that's what I'm going off of. I don't think I think the division's gone no
You think
matter.
the division's gone?
And with the releases that we know about, and some of the releases we haven't talked about. So
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Make sure you go over to shirtsicle.com/SDMMA. Pick up yourself a Fight Night.
like
shirt.
popsicle, but with shirt
Yes, not shirt circle.
or sickle.
Not
We're
sickle
not working
like
with
a,
the
like a
Russians.
thing, and not shit sickle.
You're not?
Shirt
We
sickle.
don't collude.
I could have sworn I watched your show on the Russian
They do.
channel.
There is a
We
Russian
did.
version.
There's a Russian version of our show.
SDMMA. Yeah, it's
And
pretty
no,
good.
we don't get any money from syndication. But they do our bad jokes in their language.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
I can't tell
No,
if they're better jokes.
I use Google Decipher. You can check that out. If you find it, give me the link.
Please give us the link.
Because
Also,
I
make
want
sure
to know
you
what they're saying.
get on board. Get on a strong board, strongboardbalance.com.
We got a challenge from somebody on
Dude, they did that.
Instagram.
That's a tough thing to do. First of all,
No,
I'll tell you right now, I
no.
have one of those.
right, and
but
you're
I have
gonna do that on top of
No,
that
no.
on top of another one.
I'm doing a triple first.
You're gonna do a triple first.
I'll do a triple first.
Okay.
And then we'll see about doing that. I think I might be able to do that on top of this.
You can.
Possibly.
You can do it.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And we're gonna do, and just to up the ante, we're gonna do broken glass all the way
What?
around.
No, I didn't sign up for that.
Kumite. Kumite style.
Blood
No, that was
sport.
Bloodsport where they dipped it in.
Oh, okay.
We'll try to get Mira in here.
Yes, I will dip my hands
you
in
with the
broken
meerkat.
glass and try to bounce on there. And then Dependable Solutions. It's dependable-solutions.net.
Oh, I figured out. It's on the banner. If you have any questions, just watch the banner on the
There you go.
bottom.
There you go. Dependable
And
Solutions.
if you're listening to us on the radio,
That makes
go
sense.
watch the video
And click on the banner.
Click on the banner.
Just
You
close
can't-
your eyes and you could see it.
You can see it. It's there. It's there. When are we going to do this
Rub your finger.
Strongboard challenge?
Be like-
When are we getting the other one back?
The third one,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's got it?
Madden? Dave Madden.
Dave!
No, he was not going to come down here.
Dave!
He don't like anybody in the valley.
Dave! Give me back my strong board.
No.
Just for the triple challenge, you can take it home.
Yeah. He told me it's in my garage, just taking up space. My old lady's getting mad.
Get rid of it, Dave. Bring it back.
No, it's a 3-hour drive from wherever
I don't
they
care.
live.
Don't care. Ship it.
All right.
Ship it.
All right.
Ship it to the studio.
Where we
SinCal
at?
Studios.
Well,
We're at SinCal Studios.
You can get yourself a tattoo and a
yeah.
piercing.
Yeah.
Plus
Then
we got
before we go, Nick has some local MMA news.
no one's in what's the
oh yeah. Well, I did quite a bit of interviews. I posted them on the Facebook page for
Okay, cool.
Valor Fighting Challenge. They have a fight coming up tomorrow. A lot of people out of Knoxville Martial Arts Academy. I know I said
I
that
was
wrong.
gonna do the thing.
But they have a lot of fights going on.
Time to
There is a
raise her above.
pay-per-view if you want to purchase that. I won't be watching it because I will be at 209 Beatdown 7 with Dennis. We're going to go. It's in Stockton. There's 9 fights. And
cool.
the man, the
Aw.
myth, the legend, Rikishi's going to be there.
I was gonna try to stick my hand out.
hand all through it.
Rikishi,
Yeah.
WWE Rikishi.
Yeah, Hall of Famer.
He's gonna be
pretty
there
awesome.
for Blackout.
Yeah, so I guess if you have floor seats, you're going to be able to do a meet and greet with him. Go by and say
Right
what's
on.
up,
Will
get a
he
picture.
stink face you?
I maybe. No guarantees.
No guarantee.
But if everything plays out right, you might.
You might get it.
That's it, right? That's the week.
That's right. He's Dodge. I'm Dennis. MMA Pixels. And we'll see you. Us two will see you at the fight.
You'll actually see them at the fight.